Chosen one, the silence you endured is breaking, the waiting season is closing, and the horizon ahead is alive with movement. You can feel it in the air. The heavy pause that lingered over your life has lifted. The doors that once seemed sealed are trembling on their hinges, and the ground beneath you hums with urgency. This is no longer about preparation, hesitation, or delay. The time of waiting has expired, and what once stood still is shifting into action. You're not standing at the edge anymore, you are being pulled into the center of momentum. The delay is over, and the moment you feared might never come has arrived. Everything that held you back has run out of power, and everything that belongs to you is calling your name. The stillness has ended. Today, movement begins. Stay with this message until the very end, because every word you hear is designed to align you with the flow of what is opening now. You are not here by accident. You are here because something inside of you already knows this is the moment you have been waiting for. As you listen, take a step of alignment. Write your warmest wishes into the comments with the number 777. Do it once with intention. This act is more than symbolic. It is an energetic release, a declaration that you are ready to move in rhythm with what has begun. The universe responds to expression, and when you release your wishes, you invite their return multiplied. It is your way of saying, I am no longer waiting, I am participating. For too long you have carried the tension of being ready but restrained, willing but delayed. That tension was not punishment, it was preparation. Delay sharpened your endurance, it taught you patience. It trained you to recognize what is worth moving for and what is distraction. But delay was never meant to define you forever. It was a teacher, and like all teachers, its time has now ended. What you carry has matured in the soil of waiting, and now it is ready to break through the surface. The delay prepared the harvest, and today the harvest begins to grow. Action is not a distant dream anymore, it is a demand rising in your spirit. The call to move now is not gentle, it is urgent. You can sense the energy of the moment pressing against you, making you restless, making silence impossible. That is the universe shifting gears, pushing you from pause to motion. Every dream that seemed to stall, every vision that seemed frozen, every plan that felt like it was suspended in air, watch as they begin to gather speed. The momentum has turned in your favor. What was once blocked has become unblocked. What was once delayed has been released. You are not waiting anymore. You are walking. You're not still. You are stepping. The time of imagining is closing, and the time of doing has begun. Action always feels heavier than waiting, but it also carries the thrill of purpose. The weight you feel is not the burden of delay, it is the responsibility of motion. Waiting required endurance, but action requires courage. Courage to step without all the answers. Courage to begin when the end is not clear. Courage to trust that the same force that ended the delay will carry you through the movement. You do not need to know everything to start. You only need to trust that starting is enough. The rest will reveal itself as you go. Momentum builds not in theory but in motion, and the very act of beginning sets everything else into alignment. The truth about delay is that it made you question your worth. You wondered if the pause meant rejection, if the silence meant you were forgotten. But now that the delay has ended, you can see it for what it was: refinement. You were never forgotten, never abandoned, never dismissed. You were being stretched into the person who could carry what comes next. If it had come sooner, you would not have been ready. But now, after the fire, after the waiting, after the long nights of wondering, you are ready. This is why the delay ended now, not then, because now you are strong enough, wise enough, steady enough to not just enter action, but to sustain it. You will feel fear rise as you begin to move, because fear always disguises itself as caution when action calls. It will whisper, "Wait a little longer. You're not ready yet. What if you fail?" But fear is lying. Waiting is no longer safety, it is sabotage. The longer you stay still, the further you drift from the opportunity alive in this moment. The delay has already ended. If you linger, it is no longer. The universe does not whisper without reason. What you feel now is not restlessness, it is readiness. The clock has struck, the season has changed, and the hour demands motion. The momentum you have been sensing is not imaginary. It is real, alive and waiting for your agreement. Step into it. Say yes with your actions, not just your words. Let the energy of the moment carry you forward before hesitation can drag you back. The beauty of action is that it transforms you in ways waiting never could. Waiting built your endurance, but action will reveal your power. It will show you that you are stronger than fear, quicker than doubt, more capable than you imagined. You will discover that progress comes not in giant leaps, but in faithful steps. And every step you take now will echo louder because it comes after such a long pause. The contrast between silence and movement makes every motion significant. Do not underestimate the power of simply beginning. It is enough to shift everything. The delay is over. That is not just a phrase, it is a declaration. The energy that once held you still has been removed. The walls have cracked, the gates have opened, the barriers have fallen. The only thing left to do is move. And when you move, you will realize that the delay was never wasted. It carved resilience into your soul, sharpened clarity into your mind, and poured strength into your heart. You are not stepping forward empty. You are stepping forward full. Full of everything you need, full of everything you became, full of the lessons the delay gave you. And now, with action in your hands, you are ready to write the next chapter of your story. The air feels different once waiting ends. There is a sharpness to it, a pulse that makes every breath feel urgent, as if the universe itself is telling you not to waste another second. You notice how opportunities begin to appear in places where there was only silence before. Conversations open that were once closed. Ideas flow that had once been blocked. This is what happens when the season shifts from delay into movement. Momentum begins to weave itself into your everyday life. The ground beneath you no longer feels like it is holding you down. It feels like it is propelling you forward. The hesitation that used to make sense now feels unbearable because you know the time for waiting has ended. It is important to remember that the action is not about chaos, it is about alignment. Moving too quickly without clarity is just as dangerous as not moving at all. The gift of delay was that it taught you discernment. You learned to sense when something was real and when it was illusion, when an opportunity was worth pursuing and when it was a distraction dressed as progress. Now, as you step into this new rhythm, you can trust that instinct. The delay sharpened your inner compass so that when action finally came, you would not waste it. Every decision you make now is guided by the lessons of what came before, and that wisdom is what will sustain the action into something lasting. Action requires risk, but risk is not the enemy, it is the threshold of transformation. Every step forward carries the possibility of falling, but it also carries the certainty of growth. What you feared during the delay was not the fall itself, it was the unknown of how you would rise again if you stumbled, but now you know the truth. The delay proved your resilience. You endured stillness longer than you thought you could. You survived silence when you thought it would destroy you. If you could survive that, then you can certainly survive the learning curve of movement. Do not let the fear of falling rob you of the chance to fly. Every motion forward, no matter how unsteady, brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. Momentum has its own language and it speaks in patterns. You may notice how one small step creates ripples that carry into bigger opportunities. A conversation leads to a door opening. A choice to try leads to resources appearing. A willingness to move creates allies you never expected. Momentum is magnetic. It attracts what aligns with it. The more you move, the more aligned opportunities will find you. This is why beginning is so important, because the first steps create energy and energy multiplies. Waiting starves energy, but action feeds it. With every decision you make to move forward, the energy around you grows stronger and carries you further. There is also discipline in this season. Action does not mean saying yes to everything. It means choosing wisely and moving steadily. The danger after delay is the temptation to overcompensate, to run so fast that you burn out, to say yes to every trust that you do not need to exhaust yourself chasing what already belongs to you. Pace yourself, because the season of action is not a sprint. It is the beginning of a new journey. As you step into motion, you will feel resistance rise again. Delay had its challenges, but so does movement. The obstacles will look different now. Doubt disguised as caution, criticism disguised as wisdom, distractions disguised as urgency. The key is to remember that resistance is not a stop sign. It is proof you are moving in the right direction. Resistance only appears when you are advancing. It will try to convince you to slow down, to pause, to return to the safety of delay. But safety was never the goal. Growth was, and growth requires you to keep moving even when the path shakes beneath you. There will be moments in this season when action feels overwhelming, when you look at the road ahead and wonder if you have the strength to keep going. In those moments, remember that action does not demand perfection. It demands consistency. You do not have to do everything at once. You only have to take the next step. The power of action is cumulative. Small steps repeated faithfully create momentum strong enough to move mountains. Do not despise the size of your beginnings in this season. They may feel small, but they are enough to shift your entire trajectory. The delay has ended, but the lessons it gave you remain. You are wiser now, more resilient now, stronger now. This is why action feels possible in ways it didn't before. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting from everything you became during the wait. That growth is your fuel. Let it push you. Let it remind you that action today is not a random accident, but the natural result of your endurance. You earned this moment. You survived for this moment, and now it is here, alive, demanding your response. So step boldly. Even if your legs tremble, move with courage, even if fear whispers. Begin today, even if tomorrow tries to promise you more time. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, but today is alive, waiting for you to inhabit it fully. The delay has ended, and action is no longer optional. It is inevitable. The only choice is whether you will flow with it or resist it. Choose flow. Choose courage. Choose to act, not just to dream. Because today is not just another day, it is the first day of everything that comes next. When action begins, the world around you reacts. Some forces will flow with you, helping to accelerate your progress, while others will resist, trying to pull you back into stillness. This is the natural rhythm of transformation. Forward motion always disturbs what preferred you silent. The resistance you feel now is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of movement. If you were not progressing, there would be no friction. Friction appears only when Momentum becomes undeniable. Rather than fear it, let it serve as proof that you are breaking into new ground. Every obstacle you encounter is confirmation that you are no longer standing still. In these moments of resistance, doubt will try to return. The same inner voice that told you to wait a little longer will now whisper that you are moving too fast. The temptation will be to second-guess every decision, to wonder if the delay truly ended or if you misread the timing. But the evidence is clear. Everything around you confirms that the season of stillness is behind you. Opportunities are opening, energy is flowing, alignment is unfolding. You do not need to overanalyze the truth that is already visible. Instead of questioning whether action was the right move, focus on sustaining it. Your task now is not to prove that the delay ended. It is to live as if you believe it. Action brings responsibility, and responsibility can feel heavy when you are unaccustomed to carrying it. In waiting, you dreamed of moving forward. In motion, you realize how much strength it takes to keep going. The discipline required in this season is different from before. Waiting demanded patience, movement demands persistence. You cannot lean back into passivity now that things are accelerating. The habits you form here, consistency, focus, resilience, are what will determine whether this action becomes a moment or a lifestyle. Do not let the sudden rush of change overwhelm you into inaction. Ground yourself in daily choices, small steps, steady rhythms. These will sustain you when excitement fades and endurance becomes necessary. As the pace increases, there is also a temptation to compare. You may notice others who seem further ahead, moving faster, achieving more. Resist the urge to measure yourself against what you see in others. Measure yourself instead against your own growth. Remember who you were when you were waiting, and then look at who you are becoming now. That progress is your proof. The shift from delay to movement is not just external, it is internal. As you act, you will discover new parts of yourself that waiting could never reveal. Strength you didn't know you had, creativity that lay dormant, courage that only awakens when challenged. This is the gift of action. It reveals what silence could not. Each step forward uncovers layers of your identity that were hidden in stillness. You are not only moving through circumstances, you are evolving into a stronger version of yourself. And that evolution is permanent. Even if obstacles arise, even if progress feels slow, the growth within you cannot be reversed. With action also comes exposure. People around you notice the shift. Some will celebrate it, others will question it, and a few will resist it. But remember, their perception is not your reality. Just as in visibility, your task is not to meet every expectation, it is to stay aligned with the truth of your path. Approval will fluctuate, but authenticity will remain. This is why consistency matters so much. When others see that you are steady, their doubts fade into silence. When they realize that your movement is not a passing phase but a permanent shift, they cannot ignore it. Let your consistency speak louder than their opinions. There will also be times when exhaustion creeps in. After waiting so long, the rush of action feels exhilarating at first, but it can become draining if you try to do everything at once. The wisdom of this season is learning pace. Momentum does not require sprinting endlessly, it requires steady, sustained motion. Protect your energy. Rest when you need to. Action is not cancelled by recovery, it is strengthened by it. The greatest runners are not those who never pause, but those who know how to balance movement and rest in harmony. Let yourself breathe even as you move. Balance is not weakness, it is sustainability. Finally, remember that this shift is irreversible. The delay is not returning. What once held you still no longer has power. The only thing that can slow you down now is your own hesitation. Every sign points forward. Every whisper confirms it. Every door opens because of it. You are not the same person who waited in silence. You are the one who moves in courage. Trust the path. Trust the timing, and trust the strength you built in stillness. Action is not temporary. It is the new state of your life, and the more you embrace it, the more unstoppable you become. The more you remain in motion, the more you begin to notice that action is not simply about breaking free from delay. It is about rewriting the rhythm of your life. Waiting had become such a familiar state that you almost forgot what progress felt like. Now, as each day carries the momentum of small steps forward, you can feel the difference in your spirit. The air is lighter, your vision clearer, your energy sharper. This is the transformation that happens when stagnation is finally broken. The fog of doubt lifts and the path ahead becomes illuminated, one step at a time. You begin to realize that action is not only a season, it is a lifestyle. With this lifestyle comes the responsibility of stewardship. What you do in these days matters, not just for you, but for everything and everyone connected to you. In waiting, your choices impacted only your preparation. In action, your choices shape outcomes, build futures, and influence others in real time. Each decision is now a seed planted into the soil of momentum, and those seeds will grow into fruit that outlasts this moment. This is why discipline is essential. Action without discipline burns bright but fades quickly. Action with discipline builds steadily and remains. Discipline is the bridge between the energy of a new beginning and the permanence of lasting change. There is also a new kind of testing in this season. Where delay tested your patience, action tests your persistence. It will ask if you can keep moving when excitement fades, when progress slows, when distractions increase. Many begin the journey of action with fire, but lose it when the road stretches longer than expected. Your challenge is to stay steady, to keep building brick by brick, even when no one claps, even when results take time. True transformation is not measured in quick leaps, but in consistent steps. If you can remain faithful in the middle, the end will reveal itself. They are simply indicators of where growth must happen next. Allow action to refine you, to carve away habits that no longer serve you, to demand higher standards from your choices. Every weakness revealed in this season is a doorway to becoming stronger, more resilient, more whole. Lean into the process instead of resisting it. There will be people who question why you are moving differently now. Some will remind you of who you were during the delay, trying to chain you to a version of yourself that no longer exists. Others will project their own fears onto you, insisting that action is too risky, too fast, too uncertain. But their voices cannot outweigh the truth of your progress. You are no longer standing in stillness, you are advancing. Let your results speak louder than their words. The fruit of your consistency will silence the doubt of those who cannot yet see what you see. You do not owe explanations to everyone watching. You owe integrity to the path you are on. The momentum you are building will not only change your present, it will ripple into your future. This is the true power of action. It multiplies. One decision to move becomes a chain of doors opening. One step forward creates opportunities for 5 more. One act of courage inspires countless others to believe they can do the same. In this way, action is not just about you. It is about legacy. The impact of your choices extends beyond your lifetime into the lives of those who follow. They will point to your courage as proof that it is possible to break free from delay, to overcome fear, to step boldly into destiny. It is vital to guard against complacency now. The danger of progress is that it can tempt you into settling once you achieve more than you had before. But action is not about reaching a single milestone, it is about sustaining growth. Complacency is simply another form of delay dressed in comfort. Refuse to stop moving. Celebrate victories, but do not confuse them with final destinations. There is always more ahead, always another layer of purpose to uncover, always a deeper strength to build. Keep stretching, keep expanding, keep choosing forward motion, even when standing still feels tempting again. Remember that action is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet, steady, unseen by the crowd, but powerful in its persistence. Do not underestimate the days that feel ordinary. Progress is often hidden until suddenly it becomes undeniable. Keep planting seeds even when nothing seems to sprout. Keep building foundations even when the structure is not yet visible. Action in silence is still action, and the results will reveal themselves in due time. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust that every small step counts, even when no one notices. Above all, action transforms identity. You no longer see yourself as someone waiting for life to happen. You see yourself as someone shaping life with your choices. That shift alone changes everything. It gives you confidence, it gives you clarity, it gives you authority over your own story. You no longer feel powerless because you are no longer passive. You are participating. And participation is the key to transformation. By choosing to move, you are declaring that your life is not ruled by circumstances. It is guided by your decisions. This is the essence of freedom, and it is what delay could never give you, but action always will. The journey from delay to action has been long, but it has brought you here, into a moment that is alive, urgent, and undeniable. What once felt like endless waiting has dissolved into momentum. You are no longer stuck in the shadows of hesitation. You are standing in the full light of opportunity, and everything in your spirit knows it. The silence that tested you, the doubts that pressed against you, the fears that whispered not yet, all of it has lost its power. Today is not a rehearsal. Today is the stage itself. And you are no longer preparing to act. You are already in motion. There is no reason to look back. Delay taught you what it needed to, and its season is finished. Now the path forward is the only one that matters. Every step you take today is a declaration that the future belongs to you, that hesitation no longer governs your choices, that courage is your language now. You do not need the perfect plan. You do not need to know the entire road ahead. What you need is the willingness to move, to risk, to believe that beginning is enough. Because beginning is always the hardest part, and you have already done it. This season is not about proving anything to the world. You are not defined by who you were in delay. You are defined by the person you are becoming in action. That transformation is permanent, and no one can take it away. The delay is over and action has begun. All that is left is your choice to keep stepping forward, to keep trusting, to keep moving even when the road is unfamiliar. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for another sign. This is it, the time, the place, the moment. Let your courage carry you, let your endurance sustain you, and let your authenticity. The journey of waiting is complete, and the silence that once held you no longer has power. You are standing in a moment alive with possibility, where every step forward writes a new line of your story. Do not look back, for delay has served its purpose. Let today be the day you choose courage over fear, progress over hesitation, truth over doubt. The future is not waiting, it is here, unfolding in front of you. Step boldly, breathe deeply, and know this: the time is now, and nothing can hold you back anymore. What begins today will echo far beyond this moment, shaping a future brighter than you ever imagined, greater than you ever dreamed, stronger than anything you once feared. Carry this truth within you. Every action you take now is a seed of legacy, proof that your season has changed forever.